Is an Ireland vacation on the books for 2022? I have the travel tips you're going to need as you begin your planning. Happy New Year, everyone, and welcome to the Traveling in Ireland podcast. For those of you who are new to the podcast, I want to take a minute and introduce myself. My name is Jody Halsted, and I'm an author, publisher, Ireland vacation coach, tour coordinator, and obviously your host here on the Traveling in Ireland podcast. That's a lot, but Ireland is my passion, and my goal, 100%, is to help people have an amazing Ireland vacation. Now, I have quite a few ways that I can help you do that. First is my book, Planning the Ireland Vacation of Your Dreams. It's available on Amazon exclusively, and it is available in both print and Kindle. And if you are a Kindle Unlimited subscriber, it is included in that library. My website, Ireland Family Vacations, is a complete resource for Ireland vacation planning. Not only does it have information on what to do and see, you're also going to find those really handy tips to help you plan your trip, as well as free itineraries to get those plans in motion quickly. My vacation coaching services and custom itinerary creation are designed to help you maximize your Ireland experience, and my small group guided tours are designed to deliver the Ireland that you've been dreaming of, but also to introduce you to the people and the hidden places that make the country so very special. On a more personal note, I have 2 teenage daughters who have been traveling through Ireland with me since before they could toddle, one very understanding husband who loves it when I help other people plan their vacations because it means I'm not planning one for us, and one large, very fluffy dog who prefers it when we stay in the U.S. and travel by RV so she can come along. Now that you know all about me, let's jump into what you need to know as you consider planning an Ireland vacation for 2022. Now, I'm going to share a lot of information, and instead of taking notes, all you need to do is go to the show notes and click through. It will take you straight to the website, and you're going to find all the links to everything that I mentioned right there on the website. So you don't have to worry about note-taking or getting websites down or anything like that. All right. Now, as we've seen over the past 2 years, rules have changed by the day. The current rules state that all visitors to Ireland must complete a passenger locator form prior to your departure from your base into Ireland. Now, recently effective, beginning Thursday, January 6th, passengers to Ireland with an accepted proof of vaccination or proof of recovery from COVID-19 in the previous 6 months do not have to show an additional pre-departure COVID-19 test result. Passengers without proof of vaccination or proof of recovery in the prior 6 months must show evidence of a negative RT-PCR test taken within 72 hours prior to arriving to Ireland. Now, I'm going to advise you to stay current on the rules and regulations. To do that, I have listed the current rules for traveling to Ireland, and those are updated. It is on the Irish government website, so those will always be the most up to date. I also have a link to current rules for returning to the U.S. after international travel, as well as the current rules for Canadians returning home after international travel. So all of those are in the show notes. If you are returning to a separate country, I would recommend just doing a quick Google search for what do I need to know when I come home. Now, flight prices, we have seen an increase in those in the past year or so, partially because fuel prices have increased and partially because airlines haven't made any money for the last couple of years. So those are going to increase probably more as Ireland travel starts to pick up, and definitely over the high season. So I advise that you begin monitoring your flights for your travel dates as soon as you have them. And again, visit the show notes and you will be able to see all of my tips on how to monitor and track your flights. If you are planning to do a self-drive tour, know that car rental shortages are still happening. As Ireland hits its peak tourism season, this is going to come into play with higher prices and fewer car options. So be sure to book that in advance. Now, renting a car in Ireland is not as straightforward as you may be used to having it in your home country. So be sure to check out my article on everything you need to know about car insurance, paying really close attention to step number 6, which is all about the insurance. So definitely take a look at that if you are going to be self-driving. Now, looking at accommodations, you want to book these early as well. Gone are the days, really, pretty much, of being able to just wander through Ireland and find accommodation. Postponed vacations from 2020 and 2021 have many accommodations approaching capacity for the busiest months of the year, as well as those really popular locations. So if you have your heart set on a castle stay, or you have your heart set on staying in Doolin, you need to book those really as quickly as you can, as soon as you have your dates, so you can get those accommodations locked in. We're also seeing some shortages in tours. Many large tour companies have decreased the size of their tours due to regulations. They cannot have those big buses completely full. So many of their offerings are already nearly full due to the rescheduled tours from 2020 and 2021. So if you're looking at a tour, you want to make sure to check those very thoroughly. Understand their regulations, obviously understand their cancellation policies and everything like that, and know when they are accepting people into those tours, because there will be some scattered dates and availabilities. Now, I do want to let you know that there are still a few spaces available for a Celtic experience, which is my small group tour of Ireland, which is in early September. So if you are interested in a tour, you can travel in September, and you want a small group experience, do take a look at that. Chauffeur companies are also handling a lot of rescheduled tours, and some are experiencing limited dates and availabilities. So if you can, be flexible with your dates between late May and into even early August. There's late May into June is really busy from what I'm understanding from the tour companies that I work with. But even going into the busy season of July and then leading into August, you're finding limited dates and availability, if not with the chauffeur company, then with some of the accommodations. So if you are planning to do any kind of guided tour, make sure that you get that on the books as soon as you can. You also want to read and understand any cancellation policies for any company you're dealing with, whether it's your airline, your car rental, your tour guide, your accommodations. Make sure you read and understand those policies. I highly recommend taking screenshots so that you aren't taking notes that maybe can be contested if something happens. You want that screenshot, the full screen, not just narrowing down onto the bottom of the page or onto what is important, but do a full screenshot. If you can have a date on it, do that. You want to cover all your bases and make sure that whatever happens, you have the facts on your side if it comes to getting a refund, getting a cancellation, or anything like that. Travel insurance has come into play more and more in the last couple of years. It's not something that a lot of Americans really used to buy, but now you need to maybe consider it. You need to understand what you need. You need to understand how it works. And if you purchase it, you need to be sure that it does cover COVID. So you have to do your research into that. I do have an article that helps you understand your risk tolerance when determining your travel insurance needs. And it also talks about cancel for any reason coverage, which I highly recommend, as well as where you can find policies that do include COVID coverages. Some of the attractions that you're going to visit are requiring booking in advance. Not only will booking in advance make sure that you are getting into an attraction on the day and time you want to visit, but in some cases it can also save you a little bit of money. So it's a really good idea if you have places that are kind of must see, whether it's the Book of Kells in Dublin, or it's the Kerkereid Rope Bridge up in Northern Ireland. You want to make sure that you are getting those tickets in advance so that you don't miss out on seeing those things that you've been looking forward to. Now, I really recommend, as we're going forward into travel in Ireland, that you slow down a little bit. This is something I've always recommended. Instead of being one of those snapshot tourists where you pull up, you spend a few minutes, you get a few pictures, and you get back on the road because you want to see and do it all. I highly recommend staying fewer places and taking more day trips from those places. So think of areas that are maybe a little more central to multiple things that you want to see and do. So instead of staying in Cork City, maybe you stay outside of Cork and you take a day trip into Cork, and you take a day trip over to the Rock of Cashel, and you take a day trip maybe down along the coast. But think about staying fewer places, really settling in and getting that great local feel and doing day trips out from there. And then also look at doing more outdoor activities. Ireland in the past few years has really embraced their natural activities, their hill walking, their cliff walking. If you bike, there are so many amazing greenways now, and there's bike hire. So you can go and rent a bike and, pedal along one of these really historic trails, over these amazing viaducts or past some really amazing country houses. There are also blue ways, which are a water trail. So, maybe you're hiring a kayak and kayaking down a river or on one of the locks for an afternoon. Really just try to get outside and take in some of those beautiful outdoor activities. And then you also have dozens of heritage sites that are, they're all outdoors. There's so much history to wander around and to kind of really just take in and be a part of for longer than it takes to get out, take a picture, and go on your way. So slow down a little bit. Enjoy that time in Ireland. I really feel like quality over quantity is the best way to see the country. And and really just enjoy it. So those are my top tips for your 2022 Ireland vacation planning. Again, just go into the show notes, take a look at those, and read all the linked information that you need. And as always, if you have any questions, feel free to email me, Jody, Jody, at IrelandFamilyVacations.com, or you can connect with me over at Instagram at Ireland Family Vacations. Until next time, slán go fóill.